Hello and welcome back to my channel, Talented Reads. We are back with another reading vlog with my two book besties, the CBBs. We are doing an October challenge, which is a bingo board with a bunch of prompts. I'll go ahead and put up the bingo board here. So the goal is obviously to get a bingo. You can do that horizontal, vertical, diagonal. There are some reading prompts, and then the stuff in the purpley color font is more like, I think I called them like haunts. So it's more kind of like, maybe not reading, but like there's one here is, watch an adaptation, or, post picture on Instagram, or send it to the group friends, read by candlelight, kind of just other stuff. Most of the prompts you read at least 5 books or read 4 books and do one of the haunts. So yeah. I think unlike other reading challenges that I've done so far where I kind of pick out the books to go with the prompt, I think I'm just gonna read my TBR and then we'll just see how that fits with the bingo. I think that'll be truly a challenge that way. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, alright, let's get to reading those spooky books. Hello everyone. It's been a while since I had updated. I ended up getting sick. I'm recovering from. And then my bestie is here from Phoenix, so we've been trying to salvage what little vacation we can since I got sick. But today is a relaxing day. I want to do some reading. I've got like 4 short books here. We Could Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca. It's pretty short. The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. Anybody Home by Michael Selinger, which I'm like excited to read this, but equally terrified because I heard it's pretty intense. So I'm a little scared to read it, not gonna lie, but it's been on my list. And then my friend recently got me this one, which wasn't on my TBR, but I've been dying to read it, and it's short, so I might try to just, do away with the rest of my TBR and read this instead. So those are my choices for today. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can knock some reading out before we do some activities and movie night this evening, so wish me luck. If I'm not reading, I'll be napping. It is pumpkin carving time. We're over here, and Jess is sitting way over there, so we can be 6 feet apart. Like good little COVID and non-COVID stuff. This is Mom's pumpkin. This is my pumpkin. Pre-carving. And Jess's pumpkin is over there. Let's carve this biatch. Hello there. Long time no talk. I have been down and out sick with the big ol' C, so I honestly haven't been doing much but taking meds and sleeping. I had my friend here visiting, which I think you saw a little bit of that footage for the pumpkin carving. I got sick like the day my friend flew in, so we've been trying to salvage a little bit of our vacation, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I wanted to check in with where I'm at for the October challenge. It feels like we're about like halfway through the month. So I'd like to see like where I'm at with the bingo board and how close I am to like actually getting a bingo, or if I've already got one. Again, for the October challenge, the goal is obviously to just at least have read 5 things to get the bingo. But of course, you know me, I would like to go all out and see if I can do a blackout board. But we'll see. Okay, so I have here all of the books that I've read so far this month. There are 6 of them. And I have the copy of the bingo board on paper here, but I will also put up a picture of it on the screen so you guys can follow along with me. Let me put these in the order that I've read them real quick so that we can fill the board out in that order. Okay, so now that we have these in order, let's go down the line. Alright, so first I have Hive by Greg Olson. This was a like crime mystery kind of cult book. I did buddy read this with a friend, and I think we decided to put this one on the prompt for a book with an orange cover. Next is The Rats by James Herbert. This is an old published book. I think this is the, what does it say? Yeah, the 40th anniversary edition. It has a note from Neil Gaiman, which was pretty cool. It's a little short book, but it's about rats. But these rats are out for blood. This was a pretty intense, creepy little short book. And I will say I will probably never ever look at rats the same again. So where to put it? I think there's a couple of options that I have, but I think I'm gonna do a book with black on the cover because, you know, it just seems like the obvious choice. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Next is Anoka by Shane Hawk. This is a short story collection he wrote about Anoka, Minnesota, which happens to be the Halloween capital of the world. Did you know that? I did not know that. A very cool book. These stories were about like local legends, curses, stuff like that, you know, that he's kind of heard about from this particular town in Minnesota, and so it's kind of like he like left it up to you to decide to, you know, like what is fact, what's fiction, that kind of thing. It was pretty cool. I like the way it was done. So with that being said, there's 2 prompts that would fit for the legends, curses thing. But I think I'm going to do it for a book that contains curse or bad omen. Because I feel like most of the stories in this collection fit that a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, next is We Could Never Leave This Place by Eric LaRocca. Oh goodness. So this is the second book that I've read by this author. The first one is the one that got a bunch of praise last year. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke or something like that. This one, I mean, it's still, I would consider this author to be author of weird fiction. This book is definitely weird, but I think if you enjoyed the style of the first book, this one is quite different. I think I actually liked the other one better than this one. But this book, I mean, obviously is like pretty specific and like what it's about. I'm not sure I can fill it in many spaces. How many pages is this? It's short. Yeah, the whole thing's only like, yeah, it's like 100 pages. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do it for the prompt for a horror novella, and that was under 300 pages, so that'll work. Alright, the 5th book that we got is The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a slasher book that's made to read like a slasher movie script. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite by Stephen Graham Jones, but I'd say it was a good pick for the Halloween season. It really gives you that like slashery vibes. I tend to watch more slasher movies around Halloween. Halloween, Michael Myers franchise is one of my favorite series. I watch those every Halloween season. This definitely gives those kind of vibes. Again, if you like Jason, like any of those kind of slasher movies, this is a good pick for you. So, I mean, obviously with that being said, like this has to go for the prompt for a slasher because, I mean, that's like the most obvious choice for that. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, then the most recent one that I finished is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which is kind of about a new bride marrying an older man who is a widow. He just recently lost his wife. His wife's name is Rebecca. She moves into the mansion and there's kind of just remnants of Rebecca still all over this place. So she feels like she's kind of still in competition. You don't know if it's more of like a ghosty, supernatural kind of thing, or just like, you know, Rebecca's still alive because people are remembering her and all that stuff. So, I was a little nervous actually reading this because this is an older book, and I know sometimes the language and verbiage are hard to kind of get by for some of the older books, but this was surprisingly enjoyable. It had few pretty good twists, which I was not expecting. And I'm glad I enjoyed it because I have this like really cool special edition. So I'm glad I can say now that it was worth spending the money on because, yeah, it's got some illustrations in it. Come on, I know it's awesome. Don't make a liar out of me. Yeah. So very cool. This is the Folio Society edition. It comes in a little hardback case, which I obviously have it out of the case, but yeah. Yeah, so I was fairly happy with that. Now the reason I'm actually reading this book is because I was trying to find some like classic horror books, and surprisingly this book comes up on a lot of classic horror book lists, though I mean, as a horror reader, I don't know if I would consider this horror, but I guess you could consider it like a mystery thriller with soft horror elements. I guess you could say that. But anyways, where to put it? I mean, I guess I could put it for, that prompt that is classic horror, since that's kind of what I'm reading it for. But I think I'm actually going to use it for, I think I'm going to put it under the book with the movie adaptation, because I've actually never seen the movie and I didn't want to watch the movie until I read the book. So I'm going to do it for that, and then I'll just watch the movie adaptation tonight. So I think that ought to be a good choice. So that's it for the books that I've read. My bingo board. Oh boy. It's not looking very promising, is it? So I guess I'm close to a bingo with the top row and a couple of books that are on my currently reading list. I could probably fit for prompts at the bottom row, which would make that then close to a bingo. I could knock out some of these purple spaces. Ooh, there's this one for taking a pic of your book stack. Actually, I've got some books picked out to read this weekend. So I could easily do a book stack pick. I'm gonna cut away and do that really quick, and then I'll come back. Hello there, it's Monday, and I wanted to talk some books with you for the challenge. So over the weekend I was able to finish up 3 books. that was these three. I ended up reading The Picture of Dorian Gray, Anybody Home, and The Gathering Dark, which was an anthology. So I'm gonna put my challenge back up where we left off and see where we can fit these in. So Picture of Dorian Gray, I think I'm gonna count that for read a classic book. I mean, that is a horror classic, you know. Anybody Home. Ooh, that's a tough one. I already did the novella one, so all those short, I can't really count it for that. So this is kind of an intense read, which is about basically a home invasion story. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's, I'll say not your typical home invasion story. It was done very well. I'm gonna say this is one that I currently own, but I've been too scared to read, only because I don't really like home invasion stories. Like, I'm convinced that's how I'm gonna die one day. And I don't know, I just, you know, I've lived by myself for a long time, and it's creepy living by yourself. So, you know, you don't like to think about that, but, and I just heard that prior to this that it was just like a really intense read, and I was kind of scared to read it. So I'm going to count it for that, because if I think about the rest of the books on my October TBR, like, none of them I've been scared to read, just anxious to read and excited to read. So I'm going to count it for that. And then the last one is The Gathering Dark, which was an anthology, and if I'm going to count it for the urban legend or lore, because it says right on it that it's an anthology of folk horror. So, you know, folklore, like, seems obvious. So, okay, so cool. I'll leave that. As far as ratings for these, I gave Picture of Dorian Gray 3.5 stars. This was good. It's been a long time since I've read this, and there was some stuff that I surprisingly kind of forgot about in here. But yeah. And I read this for the 12 challenge, which is to read 12 books recommended by 12 friends. So my friend Kira, this is one of her favorite books, so I read this. So thank you for the recommendation. And then Anybody Home, I gave 4 stars. It was pretty trippy. It was actually not as intense as I was thinking. I mean, it's, don't get me wrong, it's still pretty, yeah, it's a good invasion story. But it still wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so, yeah. And then The Gathering Dark was really good. If I, like, average out all of my ratings, I get to, like, a 3.46. So I just rounded it to 3.5. But my favorites were Loved by All Save One by Tori Bovalina, which is surprising because I've read her newest full-length novel. I think it's something like Not Good for Maidens or something like that, which I thought was okay, so I guess I made up for it here. I also read Petrified by Olivia, let's say Chetta. That was 5 stars. And then Third Burn by Courtney Gold was 4 stars. Truth or Dare by Alex Brown was 4 stars. And The Tallest Poppy by Chloe Dawn was 4 stars. And the rest of them were anywhere between 3.5 to 2.5 stars. So, really good anthology. I thought it is more, it doesn't really say young adult, but I did feel like it was more on the young adult side. And I think a lot of these authors are young adult authors. So, but yeah, not too bad. So as far as, let's take a look. So I'm really close to a bingo on the top row. So I mean, the goal of this challenge is to at least get a bingo. Of course, I'm going all out and doing, like, you know, a blackout, but that might take me longer. If I'm just shooting for the bingo, I think the most obvious choice is to just select the prompt for read a book with a creepy cover and, like, just knock out that bingo. So I'm gonna look at what I've got on my TBR and just see what we got for a creepy cover. And then the books that I'm still going through, like currently reading, is Ghostwritten by Ronald Malfi. This is for horror novellas. So I've been kind of trying to read like one novella a night. So hopefully I can, I've got 3 left. I'm behind the times. But hopefully I can knock this out this week and read the other novellas. And then I'm still making my way through Toil and Trouble. 15 Tales. I'm not very far. How many have I read? I think I read like 5 or something. Yeah, I've only read 4. I mean, this is a reread for me. I read this last year, so like, I know the stories, you know, which is actually kind of surprising because the first story, my rating last time was at 5 and this time I only gave it 3. So that was interesting. But yeah, so I have my ratings from before and then I'm rating them the second time through here. So, I mean, like, I've read these before, but obviously a monster reread, like, I have to read all of them. So, we'll see. I'm hoping maybe I can read just like a couple a night and get through this, through next weekend. And then Comfort Me with Apples is still on the TBR. It's so short that I want to just be like, just focus and read it, Donna. Like, come on. So, that's still on the TBR. And then, I wanted to start the nonfiction I had, which, where that book is. I don't think it's over there either. I think it's called like 6 Women of Salem, which is about the 6 women that were tried during Salem witch trials. I wanted to start that this week, and then obviously whatever I pick for the creepy cover. So yeah, wish me luck. Hello. Oh, you can see my feet. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Hello there. Long time, no update. Oh no. Alright, coughing fits is over. I should know by now that laughing equals coughing fit. But anyways, it's Sunday. It's been a rough week. Not gonna lie, I just, you know, I didn't feel like freaking reading. I just didn't. However, I guess I did read some. I started strong and faded fast, I'll say that. So, I did start Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Which I am actually liking. It's different than what I thought it was. I don't know what I was expecting, but I like the carnival-y aspect and the, like, freak show weirdness aura about it. That was interesting. I'm close to being done, so maybe I'll finish that this weekend. We'll see. I did start Six Women of Salem. I'm like halfway through. This is good, but reading very much like a textbook, so I have to kind of take it in chunks, but it is very interesting, and heartbreaking and appalling and, you know, all that stuff. I am liking kind of the pictures that she includes in it, and yeah, so it's very interesting. She kind of goes over, there's like an introduction of each of the 6 women, and then she has like a countdown kind of when it started to like the end, and it kind of talks about like how each of the 6 women fared in the trials themselves as like the countdown. So very interesting. So last time we talked, we decided that I would be doing the bingo for the top row. So the book with the creepy cover, I chose The Botanist because, I mean, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I mean, you have to admit that is a creepy cover. It's like a person with flowers and they're being buried, and it's about this, I don't know if the guy's a serial killer or what, but basically like uses bodies to fertilize his, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful but very creepy ass cover. So, and can you imagine like uncovering that? Ugh. So yeah, that's what I chose. Did I start it? No, I did not. So I'm hoping, I don't have much to do today. My goal is to kind of like read and then do some stuff and read and do some stuff and read and do some stuff. But it is 11 o'clock and I have done neither of those things. So yeah. I also did not even read The Comfort Me with Apples. So I thought maybe I could try to do that tonight. Toil and Trouble, I did not get past any of the 4 that I initially read. And then Ghostwritten, I did read one more novella, so I only have 2 left. So I think my focus for today is, I don't know, I'd really like to finish Something Wicked This Way Comes, and then maybe read a novella and Ghostwritten, and then maybe get halfway through The Botanist. Yeah, and I guess maybe tonight read The Comfort Me with Apples by candlelight, so I can put that on the bingo board. I don't know, looks like a lot, doesn't it? Oh, Donna. Alright. In the meantime, I have my yummy lunch snack here. So I'm going to read a little bit, eat my snack, do something, and then I'll check in with you later. It's Sunday evening, and guess what? I finished my book. Really good. It's about this detective, this girl named Alex ends up having this weird experience on the side of a highway, so she goes to report it at a police office station, and like nothing happens, and then 4 years later something happens and they end up covering it across this massive grave site of 12 graves. When they open them, they all find these bodies with these flowers on them. And so, you know, the media gets wind of it, and there's obviously people are freaking out that there's this prolific serial killer in this little town, and they dub him the Botanist. So it was really good. I really liked it. I got this under a horror site, but this is definitely more psychological thriller. I mean, I guess it does have some horror elements just with the nature of the killings. You know, they're very specific and all of that. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. I think the ending kind of dragged out a little bit, but yeah. Cool. So that means I'll move aside, put my bingo card up here. That means I finished my bingo. Woo woo, woo woo. And I will probably just end the vlog because I got my bingo. I don't think I'm gonna try to go for blackout anymore. But excuse me. I don't know, it's like a week and a half left in the month, so we'll see how close I get to a blackout. But I am gonna end the vlog here because I got my bingo from a challenge, so that's exciting. Alright, so I'll put my bingo board back up. I got my bingo, and I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. I know I said I wanted to kind of do a blackout. I don't think I'm gonna do that in this vlog. I think there's still, at this point, like a week and a couple days left in the month, so I might try to knock out. I've started like a bunch of the books, so I need to just finish them now. And if I can finish them, I could probably do a knockout board, but I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for following along. I hope everyone is enjoying reading their spooky reads for this Halloween season. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.